Today I wanted to talk about a game I recently discovered. It's called Due Process, an early access game on Steam which is described as a PvP tactical FPS about planning and execution. Sound strategy and good teamwork are essential for victory because new procedurally generated maps are delivered every week. You'll face a new tactical challenge every round. If I were to make any comparison, I would say it's like a roguelike Rainbow Six Siege. Basics. There is a casual and ranked matchmaking. In casual, you play 6 rounds on 3 different maps, 3 as attackers and 3 as defenders. While in ranked, you play 12 rounds on 6 different maps, basically 2 casual games back to back. You start out with an overview of the map where you can see vital locations such as the power switch or breachable doors. Once you're done with the map, you choose your equipment. You can hold 1 primary, 1 secondary, 2 tacticals, and 1 headwear, of which there is only night vision goggles for attackers currently. Each gun can have 1 magazine loaded, and you can have 2 in reserves. If you are attacking and you want to breach a red door, then you and your ally are going to need a clicker and a breach charge. You can have 1 person hold both, or split them among 2, and they still work the same. Equipment and ammo do not carry over from round to round, so deciding what weapons and equipment to use in different rounds is very important. However, if you complete a round without dying, you are able to keep all the equipment that you were holding, including equipment that you would not normally be able to have on your team's side. Important equipment. Attackers have 1 large wall breach, 2 clickers and 2 breach charges, and 4 night vision goggles. Defenders have 4 barbed wire, 4 flares, and 4 molotovs. The attackers and defenders have different options for weapons, so in order for a defender to get an attacker weapon, the defender would need to kill an attacker and then take their weapon, as well as the bonus ammo. This works the other way as well. Important strategies. Since items do not replenish during each set of maps, if you can keep track of what items the enemies use per round, then you can minimize possible attack points or skew the engagements in your team's favor. An example of this would be an attack team that breaches 2 fire doors will only have 1 breach item afterwards, which could be a wall breach or a regular charge. If it's a wall breach, then attackers can either breach a fire door or a destructible wall, and if it's just a regular breach charge, then you know fire doors are the only ones at risk. Simply keeping track of used items will give you a huge advantage when it comes to making your plan. Understanding the map. There are different vital parts of the map. Red require breaching, green are just normal doors that do not require breaching, blue are what I would call utility, for example glass or shutters. Yellow indicates that electricity is somewhat involved, excluding fans, and white indicate paths that can be traversed with no difficulty. Fans are red because they are breachable, but they also require electricity to require the breach. So if you turn off the electricity, the fan stops running, and then attackers can walk through the fan. But if you turn the electricity back on, then you have to breach the fan to get through it. Unique vitals. Electrical switches. Turning these off will shut off the light and also deactivate anything that requires electricity. Things are actually pretty intuitive as far as what uses electricity and what does not. Garage doors. These are large breachable doors that can be opened and closed when electricity is on. Vault door. Every map I've played on with a vault has had the objective in the vault, so there is a good chance that this will always happen with a vault door. Nevertheless, when a vault door is present, a control panel will be somewhere on the map which needs to be used to open the vault. Be very careful when entering a vault, as a common strategy is to put a defender in there and gun you down when it opens. But on the other hand, attackers can open it, then close it with someone defusing the bomb, forcing the defenders to run to the control panel to attack. Combat. Pure gun skill will always be an advantage, and of course a single person can eliminate an entire team on their own, but knowing how to communicate with your team is of utmost importance. Simply being alive is very important regardless of skill, because the enemy doesn't necessarily know your skill level, and outnumbering your opponent can easily lead to a victory. As an attacker, you always want to use a flashbang for two reasons. First, there's no short supply of flashbangs, and second, flashbangs are kind of broken. After being hit by a flashbang, your camera shifts drastically and your vision is severely impacted, so remember to always breach and bang. My opinions. Firstly, I would say that what the developers of this game have done is an excellent job of creating fun mechanics and items. They have basically put many tools and toys for people to use. Each map has multiple ways that can be played out, and the fact that maps are procedural means that the developers don't have to spend time making specific maps. Instead, they can spend more time on making more items and individual rooms to add to the map generation. Second, the art style as well as character models add to the gameplay, specifically the color choices. You don't run into any situation where a player has a black outfit on in front of a black background. Instead, most player colors are bright, varied colors with mostly neutral map colors, making players and the map distinctly different. The non-realistic art choice is another great decision that allows for easier development and looks really good. So major props to the artists, I love this art style. And the negatives. I don't consider these major issues for two reasons. The game is in early access and the game is already really good. First, there needs to be an improvement to the tutorial map. For example, I had no idea about electricity until someone turned it off in a match. If you're a defender, all you have are flares that you most likely didn't take and a small flashlight. But on the other hand, attacking with lights off makes you feel like a Navy SEAL. There needs to be a tutorial dedicated for the map system itself. Second, there needs to be a private game lobby so players can practice their coordination and how to use the tools. Third, I don't see this being a competitive game in any serious nature, but rather a very fun party game due to the random nature of the maps. I feel like most of the competitive people out there aren't really going to be a fan of this sort of thing, so I think the goal should be to just make the most fun game possible. And one last topic I wanted to bring up, but this is really dependent on adding private lobbies, and this may simply be something that the developers may not be wanting to add. I think this could be the #1 thing to improve this game, and that would basically be a map maker system. An apt comparison would be that of the Halo custom games community, a thriving and fun community that would have never existed this long without Forge, which is Halo's version of a map editor. If this were to be added, there could be a community features included where there are contests for players creating rooms. Basically, this would lead to a limitless potential for this game, with customization and variability in the maps. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this informative.